What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of Broncos Daily with your host, Kurt Valenti. Please remember to subscribe to the page, like the page, and of course, feel free to leave comments, and I will get to your viewer comments on another edition of Broncos Daily. So, I hope you guys are doing a little better than we are here in Jersey. Going to be getting blasted over the next couple of days with snow. So, you know, no school, which is a good thing. But listen, we're supposed to get pounded. One of the worst storms in this area. So, hey, what else better than to talk some Denver Broncos to get through the snow? So let's get to a little of the latest breaking news. The Denver Broncos, again, not officially, but it's going to happen. Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos are going to bring back John Morton as the offensive passing game coordinator. John Morton was on the Broncos staff in 24 and 25 in the same capacity. He then became the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He was let go as offensive coordinator with the Lions. And if you remember, Sean actually brought him back for the postseason last year as a consultant. And, he had an impact. Like you actually, you heard that, he put in that tackle eligible play to Frank Crum that scored in the Buffalo playoff game. So already his impact was felt. He was also an assistant coach. He was with Sean in New Orleans for a couple of years. And, now that completes the offensive staff for Coach Payton and the Denver Broncos. I believe that, I kind of like that what Sean does. Like Sean, it seems that he likes to hire and just keep hiring people that he is familiar with, right? He hired Ronald Curry, so Curry worked with him in the past. Obviously, Morton worked with him in the past. So he feels comfortable with people. Obviously, Davis Webb got the promotion, but he worked with him in the past. He really hasn't hired like outside people. He's been going to his people. And I think it's a good thing. Again, everybody that Sean has brought in, right? I mean, pretty much has worked out. Like I said on another previous show, a lot of these Bronco assistants have been getting coordinator interviews, coordinator positions, head coach interviews, and that's all Sean. So listen, I'm gonna like it. I think Bronco country, we should get behind this. We're gonna like this. Even though things didn't pan out in Detroit, he still saw a lot of things there. The screen game was very good with Gibbs and Montgomery. Hint, hint, maybe David Montgomery could be a potential trade candidate for our Denver Broncos for our running game. But, our screen game wasn't good. Maybe that's something he can help out on. And again, I think he'll be an asset to the room. I think he will, again, it's going to be, fascinating to see how this all plays out with Sean and Davis and now, John. Again, is Davis, rumors are still strong that he is going to give up play calling to Davis Webb. How much is that going to be? Is he going to give up full play calling? So, we'll all see how that works. But again, what's your thoughts? John Morton coming back, passing game coordinator. Again, I have nothing negative to say why it wouldn't work, why I'm unhappy about it, why Broncos country, we should be unhappy about it. Again, it's one of Sean's guys, somebody Sean feels comfortable with. So I say we roll with it. Hey, give him a chance. If this is what Sean wants, let's roll with Sean. So John Morton back with the Denver Broncos as the offensive pass game coordinator. Staying on the offensive side of the ball, let's talk about another potential free agent signing. Like I said, we've been, harping on offensive weapons, wide receiver, running back, tight end, and free agency. We're going to get to two of them today because it's something that has to get done. It will get done. Again, we have the assets. We have the trade assets to make a trade happen. Again, picking 30th. We'll get into that, on another show this week. But, what kind of an impact player are we going to get at 30 as opposed to going out and trading that for a wide receiver? Talking about wide receiver, let's get into another wide receiver who the Denver Broncos had some interest in at the trade deadline, last trade deadline. We did not acquire him. He went to the Seattle Seahawks, and we all know what happens. He was a pretty big reason to help the Seattle Seahawks win Super Bowl 60, and that is wide receiver Rasheed Shaheed from the Seattle Seahawks. Again, he was with the New Orleans Saints last year, combination Saints Seahawks. 59 catches, 687 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had a couple special team touchdowns. He's a big time returner, punt return, kick return. He had a kick return, opening kick return in the divisional round against San Fran to open up that playoff win. And just a weapon every time this guy touches the ball. He is a deep threat. In his career, 12 receiving touchdowns, 4 special team touchdowns. Again, dual weapon. But the thing that he brings is his speed, right? Something that Courtland Sutton really doesn't have. Marvin Mims has it, but Marvin Mims, we've, been having trouble incorporating him into the offense. Troy Franklin has some speed, but, Troy Franklin also drops the ball a lot. When you look at Pat Bryant, again, he's more of a, possession guy, catches everything, but he's not really a speed guy too. So Rasheed Shaheed, somebody I wish the Broncos went out and got at the trade deadline. It didn't happen. They traded him for a 4th and a 5th of a 26 round draft. So New Orleans picked up some draft capital, but Seattle got the big weapon to help out with JSN. Again, you couldn't just funnel everything down to JSN because, and obviously you had Cooper Kupp too, but now they had a receiver that could blow it over the top. You have to be able to cover this guy. You have to be able to respect, maybe give some safety help. And it's something I would like in Denver. Again, I don't know if this is the first move I'm making. I would not be against Shaheed at all because I think he gives us something we don't have. They're saying his number is going to be around 12, 13, 14 million a year. That's a lot. That's a little pricey. But again, you have to go on that, in a system where you give him Sean Payton, hopefully you're going to fix this run game and you get Bo Nix and you give him a legit deep threat, and Shaheed would be this deep threat that he's going to produce more than he has. What's your thoughts on it? I like it. Again, I don't know if it's the first call I'm making. Again, I'm still into the A.J. Brown. I'm still into, I'm going to dream with Justin Jefferson. See what's going on there with Alec Pierce. So there's still a lot of guys out there. But Shaheed is definitely on my radar. I would not mind Shaheed. Again, I still have to do something running back wise and tight end wise, and we'll get to tight end in a second. But Shaheed to me is an option that I would not mind. Again, can put him in the return game. I mean, can you imagine return? I'm returning Mims and Shaheed back there. I mean, who's kicking to those two guys? And now you put out on an offensive Courtland Sutton, a Shaheed with Mims, and one of those younger guys with an improved running game with either Ingram, and I'll get to a couple tight ends. That's a nice offense. It's just something where it seems that what teams did was keep everything in front and said, hey, you don't really have anybody to beat us over the top. So anything you throw short, we're just going to jump on tackle, keep it in short game. Now you give us a Shaheed where, hey, we saw it with Mims in the postseason, right? Whether it's completions, pass interference calls, you got to get the ball in these guys' hands. Shaheed's a guy like that, a dynamite guy. We could give him reverses, jet sweeps. Just you have to game plan for him defensively. So I'm in on Shaheed. Again, not my first call. Again, I want to see what's going on with those other guys, but it's great to have an option like him. It'd be roughly 12 to 14 million. But I have to upgrade this wide receiver room. I have to upgrade these weapons for Bo. So Rasheed Shaheed on my radar. Is it Bronco Country on your radar? Another weapon on the radar, and we had a comment the other day from one of our watchers. And again, guys, please leave your comments, subscribe. You guys are doing a great job. I love answering your comments. I'm going to get to a couple of comments in the next segment. But one of the comments was, let's look at Cade Otton from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I agree. Last year, 59 catches, 572 with a touchdown, career over 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. 26 years old, but he's what's called an inline tight end, right? So he's not he's not like an Evan Ingram where, you look for mismatches, and he's more going to be spread out and stuff like this. This is, hey, he can play in 12 personnel. He could play in our regular personnel. He could be a 3-down tight end. He can block. Again, we want to get this run game going. We saw what the run game didn't do for us in the postseason. I expect the Broncos to be very aggressive to upgrade that running back room in free agency to draft or through trades. And I also think we're going to do it to tight end. So Cade Otton, again, I like that he can do it all. I like that he can block. I like that we can spread him out a little bit. We can work on mismatches. And, the more we run the game, the better our play action is going to be. The better, we can switch with different formations. We can go with a 2 tight end set if we keep Ingram. If we go Ingram and Otton, listen, that's one of the top tight end rooms combination of 1-2 tight ends in the league, right? You might not say oh my God, they're the best tight ends, but as a combination, I like it. He's projected to get around $8 million a year. When you look at Ingram and, can we either, renegotiate his, move some money around for Ingram. I just don't want to release Ingram. I think he's still a talented player. I think that's something like Davis Webb, John Morton now. These guys got to work with Sean to get him more touches. But if you can give me Otton and Ingram, I like that. $9 million is not bad. It's not bad when we have we're going to restructure some deals. Ingram could be one that we're going to restructure. But we're going to have more money than the $30 million that it says now. So if we want to say go all in and pay a high priced free agent running back, and we want to cut back and not have to pay 10 to 12 for a tight end, and we want to pay 8 or 9, Otton is definitely nice. Again, I want to come out with a wide receiver weapon, a running back weapon, and a tight end weapon that upgrades all 3 of those rooms. So Otton is on my radar. Another player. What's your thoughts? Do you like him? Again, Lively, Pitts, Kelsey. I don't think he'll be an option. Obviously, I think he'll go back to KC. You got some trades, Trey McBride, but Otton is a free agent. It's not going to cost us any assets where it has to cost us through a trade. Hey, we can just flat out sign him. Would you do it, Broncos country? $8 million, $9 million, $10 million? Do you like him? Do you think he's an upgrade over Ingram? Do you want to pair him with Ingram? What's your thoughts on that? But I'm a fan. So again, on my radar, I don't say no to that, but I will. I'll look for Otton to add on. And like I promised, last thing I want to do today, Broncos country, is I want to get to 2 of the viewers' comments. And again, you guys have done a fantastic job. Again, please like and subscribe to the page. Awesome. We're almost up to 100 subscribers. That is great. Leave some comments. Please go get some more Bronco people. Even if you're not Bronco people, you want to talk football, we could talk football. But, we're going to talk Broncos here. So make sure we get some Bronco people. And let's go. So viewer comment, and this is from Matthew Shaw 3641. Thank you, Matthew, for the comment. His comment: I think Emmanuel McNeil Warren should be an option at 30, especially if we sign Devin Lloyd. We probably don't need him, but with the combo tight ends and running backs in the league that we see, there'll be less room to catch, anything. Thank you again, Matthew, for that comment. So Emmanuel McNeil Warren is a safety out of Toledo. He has been mocked in a couple of drafts to the Denver Broncos. I know a lot of you guys are saying we don't need a safety, so why would we take a safety? Well, if the Broncos do, and they have shown in the past couple of years that they want to go best player available, he might be one of the best players available at number 30. Again, it is why, do we need him? No. But, because obviously we have Hufanga, we have Brandon Jones, we have a couple of young kids back there, is PJ Lock, Skinner, those guys going to be back. So do we use a number 30 pick on him? I'm a little torn on that. Again, if you said to me I could pick McNeil Warren, or I can trade that pick for Jalen Waddle to Miami, I'd rather go get Jalen Waddle from Miami. I know he's going to be, stud wide receiver, 1A, 1B for us, and that's going to help us more right now. But it's not that I don't like the player. Obviously, he's a talented player. If you're going to go with the best player, just like we did last year with Barron, right? The thing is, do we use a pick number 30 and he doesn't play this year and he's just a depth piece, special teams piece? Or do we move that or go get a guy right now that that's going to go help us compete for a championship? So, again, I'm not against it. It wouldn't be my first pick over there. If I can't move up and I can't go get a tight end or a running back or even a wide receiver that I really like, or maybe a linebacker that I like, because I don't see any safety that we draft starting, right? I mean, Hufanga and Jones, they're not gonna get replaced, So, we're not gonna play three safeties. Are we gonna bank on if somebody gets hurt or just for depth? I don't want to use a number 30 pick on that. We did that already with Barron like last year. I don't want to get into that again. So I would say no. Again, not that I don't like the players. They're very talented players. Probably can go higher than 30. It would be more if he drops to us. And again, Peyton have shown that they do best player available. But I wouldn't do it. I'd rather move that pick, go get myself a receiver, help myself on the offensive side of the ball, or somebody that's going to help now. But thank you, Matthew, for that comment. And second comment is from Ron Arter, 8609. He says, Singleton is coming back. I don't know about Stranad and Greenlaw, but one of them will probably be back, draft to develop. I don't know if Singleton's coming back. I think obviously the Broncos like him. I know Vance Joseph loves him, but he is an older player. And again, listen, there's nothing we can say bad on this pod about Singleton, right? I mean, from what he did last year, coming back from the diagnosis he got and able to come back and suit right up and play, and our leading tackler week in and week out. But, I hear a lot of rumors that the Broncos are in on Devin Lloyd. And if that's the case, and we can get Devin Lloyd, one of the best younger inside linebackers in this league with potential to be great. He can cover. He's got speed, just the instincts, the turnovers, and he flies to the ball and I'm going to go get Devin Lloyd. So that's first and foremost. If I could sign him and I have money to do it, I'm doing that. I can't pay Singleton. I can't get back to what it was in this room. I do have to upgrade this room a little bit. If I can't get Lloyd and, there's nothing in the draft and, then maybe I do bring Singleton and do draft somebody, like I said, a second or third rounder and groom him under Singleton. Stranad's going to just be tough because he wants to be guaranteed a starting spot. I just don't know if we can do that. Greenlaw is the biggest question in that room. Again, if healthy, one of the best linebackers in football. Just he did not look healthy. He missed a lot of games last year. So that's a gamble. Do we take it? I still would, because I think if we can get this guy healthy and he can be healthy for the postseason and when it matters, I mean, he's a game-changing linebacker. But I also need insurance on the other side of him. So if you said to me, I'm going to have Devin Lloyd and Dre Greenlaw, I'm signing up for that. Singleton and Dre Greenlaw, I don't know if I want to run that back again. Again, Stranad earned his money. He deserves some money, but as to say you're a starting linebacker in this league making a lot, I don't know if I want to do that. I think that's a position we have to upgrade. I think no matter what, we have to draft somebody to develop them. Like I said, second round, third round. I mean, CJ Allen, we talked about the other day, is he going to be there at 30? That's a potential. But the kid Rodriguez from Texas Tech, that's the kid I would just love second or third round. Groom him behind either Lloyd, Singleton, and just get him ready. And then, imagine a couple of years of having Devin Lloyd and Rodriguez as your linebackers. I mean, that would be ideal. Could we do it? So I'm not 100% sure, Ron, if Singleton's going to come back. I think it all depends on what happens with Devin Lloyd. If we can get Devin Lloyd, I think we get him. There's been rumors, I've been hearing a couple people saying that they're hot for Lloyd. They got the money, they're willing to spend it and take the defense from here to even higher, because the one thing we are missing is that stud middle linebacker, and Lloyd is a stud middle linebacker. But thank you, Ron, for that comment. And again, guys, please comment throughout the shows. I will get to your comments on future shows, and I love doing this. And again, please subscribe, like the page, subscribe to the page, bring some people to this page. Again, exciting times in Bronco land here, Broncos country. I am excited. I know you are excited. So that's going to do it, for today. But make sure you check back for another edition of Broncos country, Broncos Daily, and Broncos country. Go Broncos.